Hi, my name is Filippo Mira. I'm here with A Silent Crisis, short form documentary. It's going to be screened.
So what is it about this particular story that interested you?
So generally the documentary is about loneliness, but it tells the particular story of this woman, a single mother from Ghana in the London Borough of Islington who set up a project, which is a support group to help other women, especially single mothers in her area, who suffer from loneliness and social isolation. And it's her story and the personal stories of the woman that she helped through the project.
And why did this particular story interest you?
So this story came about, it was during the peak of the pandemic, COVID times. I was living in Islington at the time, and I saw an article in like a local newspaper about Gladys, about the woman, the main character of the film, and her group. And it was really interesting. It really spoke to me, because obviously we were all isolated at home, but also generally I was thinking that loneliness is one of the greatest like public health challenges of our time, as our lifestyle steers us towards even more isolated lives. So it's something that gets worse over time. And yeah, I was looking to make my first documentary, so this felt like an easy subject to approach. It was local, and so I got in touch with her, and then it all started.
So before, have you done narrative projects, fictional projects?
I have done, yes, I've done a couple of fiction projects. So this was my first,
So this was obviously a completely different approach.
Completely different approach.
What did you learn whilst doing this documentary that?
Well, it was a different approach, but I still treated it as scripted. So first I had a meeting with her, and she introduced me to all the women that she helped, and I recorded all the conversations. So from there I kind of have written the story, and then I went on and filmed interviews and everything else.
So it was built upon truth?
Yeah, it built upon truth, yeah. So I knew I had to find the story before going and shoot it. So it was all very well.
Has she seen the film?
Yeah, she sees, yeah, she loved it. She's very happy. Everybody who's been involved is really happy about it. And yeah, I'm very happy.
Because it's interesting, do you feel a sense of responsibility, especially you're telling the story of a real life person? Do you feel like a responsibility as a
I do, yeah. You know, I felt a sense of responsibility to be true to her story, to her life, but I very much involved her in the process, like from day one. So, so we were on the same page on that, about that.
Because it's all about trust, right?
It is all about trust. I've got to say, I was very surprised how natural she was on camera, and everybody, all the subjects involved were. Because that was their first time on camera, and yeah, it all
no acting required, right?
No acting requirement, really.
Behaving. No, that's great. And tell me more about your creative team, your crew.
Yeah. So I work with Emma, who is the producer. She's a wonderful producer. She's a writer first and director, producer. And Giovanni, who's like a long-time friend of mine, who's the DP. So it was a very small crew, because it was in the production, it was 3 of us, and then we had like a sound recordist. So literally the actual production team was just the 4 of us.
Name
and then
on one
obviously
hand. Wow.
there were more people involved in the post-production, from the colorist to Marina, amazing work, and Alexander, the sound designer, composer, and sound mixer, did a fantastic job.
I'd love to hear more about what's it like working with a composer, especially for like a docudrama. What was that process
So it was the first time that I was working with a composer, so I very much gave him like completely creative freedom. I mean, I gave him a few references of the tone of the style. Obviously, he saw the movie before. Yeah, I love it. I think just the audio post-production is probably my favorite part of the whole process.
I'm a strong believer 51% of movies is sonic, it's sound.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah. And relied a lot on the music to convey the tone of the film and the mood.
Did you have those discussions before you began shooting, or was that after?
No, really. It was after, but I knew already what tone I was going for, because I've done, based on the interview, on the conversation I had with all the subjects involved, I first cut like a mood film using music and images from other films that I knew I wanted to get. Just so before shooting, I already had like a kind of the movie already was there.
That's right. That's really helpful. And if you wanted one element to be taken away from this story, what would it be?
It would be that life improves when we come together. That's ultimately what I want to say with this film. I'm not delving into the political, cultural phenomena of why we are going towards more individualistic cultural society, but I just want to say, look, if we come together, life gets better, and as the subjects, the characters of the film can testify.
Absolutely. I think now is the best time to tell this type of story.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, it's more relevant than ever, and it will probably get more and more and more relevant.
That's great. If you're provoking someone to think differently about something or putting someone in touch with their own emotions, I mean, that's why film is the most powerful.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the most we can inspire as filmmakers, like changing behaviors through our films. Yeah, I'll feel accomplished if somebody would reach out for help or offer support to somebody going through a difficult time. Yeah, that's the
Create something from nothing, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Based on this experience, would you dive into the same genre again in the future?
I would, yeah. Even though now I've started making fiction again, so I'm at the end of the post-production of my first short film that as a writer and director together, and I'm really enjoying the writing process. So, but I definitely, whenever I'm gonna find the right subject, I'm definitely going back on it 100%.
Tell me a little bit more about that writing process, especially with this film here at the festival, because it is based on fact, but then you obviously somewhat have to take some artistic license in creating a story from that. Tell me a bit about that process.
The process was just like mainly reorganizing everything that was spoken about in the first conversation we had. So more like building this chain of cause effect, and finding when to put the information at the right time, and building first a sense of who the characters are, what they're going through, and then put them on this path of redemption. If you want to go
That's great. On that note, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.